Timothy O'Malley, first year head coach, girls varsity basketball at McBain High School.
Addie Ridgway, sophomore, number 1, guard. Chelsea Isinga, senior, number 2, guard.
Michaela Van Polen, sophomore, number 3, forward guard.
Peyton Grant, junior, number 5, guard. Adria Roosevelt, sophomore, 10, forward.
Ayla Ferdine, junior, number 11, guard.
Michaela Flood, junior, 12, forward. Shannon Maloney, senior, 22, forward guard. Isabel Roosevelt, senior, number 23, center.
Briella Walanges,
Junior, 32, forward.
Bridget Roby, junior, number 34, guard.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Homecoming. I'm Grant Tripp. I'm joined here by Peyton Skolton. As we are tipped away, the ball's going to fall to McBain. Never mind. We're going to do it again.
More action.
That lets me go through some things. Peyton, here we are, first game in a packed house as usual. One of the most anticipated basketball games of the year, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Starting off with the girls, the ball's going to go to the Houghton Lake Bobcats.
What a tip-off. You know, neither team touched it.
Definitely took the tip out of it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell which side's McBain's side because, I mean, this side where we're normally on the other side. We're on technically the visitor side right now, I'd want to say. And it is packed over here. And then the other side where Houghton Lake should be, there's actually more McBain people. So I think the boys' game is going to be a little bit more packed. It's a good thing we have to get here at 5 because I found a parking spot. If you come here anywhere later than 6:37, you're not parking anywhere close to the school.
It's going to be Peel with it, passing it out. It's going to be stolen by Adria Roosevelt, coming into the paint, going to take up the lay and start us off.
Good way to start right there. Start out firing and fast.
So the ball's going to go back to Jaden Peel. Hopefully she doesn't lose it this time. Crossing half court. Passes it out to Muringer. Muringer, as one of the players is down in the paint with the ball. That was Parks, I believe.
For girls, it should be a good game, too. They're probably, as we said all year, this is a very defensive girls team. The way that Mr. O'Malley coaches them, they want them to be all over that ball. You want them flying across the court, getting anything, get nice looks. So should be seeing a good game. I'm pretty sure Houghton Lake's right around the same way.
And definitely this girls team dealing with some injuries as Isinga shoots one off the board and makes it through. Trouble with the ball now for the Bobcats. It'll be Peel getting it back, but it's going to be picked up by Isinga. Isinga going to charge in, take up the shot, way up, still goes through.
That's a tough shot. That's a good shot right there. Like we said, good defense. They're full court pressing. They're not even letting in any easy passes. And they're going to get a foul right there for 5 seconds.
And the Bobcats just absolutely intimidated to start off this first minute of play.
I think that's a good word right there, intimidated. What this team does is they intimidate. Oh, man, they intimidate their opponents. And it causes a 6-0 lead like that, and Roosevelt going to the free throw line.
And especially with this loud crowd, it doesn't get much scarier than this coming in.
No. No, you come here on homecoming night, expect a packed place. What we like to say is McBain's such a small town. I mean, you could probably rob anybody in McBain right now. Everybody's here.
Pretty much. As Roosevelt's first free throw is up and good, making it 7-0 now with 6 minutes, 44 seconds left to go in the first. To put him up by 8, she will. Now the Bobcats looking to put themselves on the board. So far, nothing going. It's going to be Peel. Peel against Isinga. He's going to charge in, pass it out to Parks. Parks shot no good, rebounded by Maloney.
That was a good pass right there. Good look by her teammate. But even the intimidation factor right there, Adria come riding or flying over from the free throw line to almost block that.
Now it's going to be Roosevelt on the outside, passing it to her sister, Adria. Adria gives it to Maloney. Maloney, so far, McBain looking for something in the paint, gives it out to Isinga. Isinga finds Roosevelt in the paint. Her shot is good and one.
Tough basket right there, but that's what Roosevelt's known for. Well, Isabel's known for. Getting in the paint, getting all those rebounds, getting those tough baskets.
10-0 now. Isabel Roosevelt looking to make that 11. Shot's going to be no good. Rebounded by her sister.
Yeah.
She puts that one through. So 12-point run now to start the game for McBain. It's going to be Peel. Peel once again against Isinga. Tries to get it to Parks. Same play we saw before. And once again, that McBain defense all over it.
I mean, sister like sister. We just hyped up Isabel right there. And Adria's like, wait, I can do the same thing. She gets the rebound, tough basket. And tough defense right there. If McBain can sniff out that play, and that's one of the only plays Houghton Lake has tonight, it's going to be a tough game for them.
So McBain with the lead and the ball. It'll be Ridgeway. Ridgeway going to pass it over to Adria. Adria in the paint, drives in, takes the shot, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Isabel. Her shot no good. It's going to fly out of bounds. Never mind, picked up by Ridgeway. Now Isinga loses the ball. It's going to be taken by Marshall. Marshall going to come down the court, stop, slow things down. Give it over to Meringer. Now Marshall. Marshall over to Peel. Peel finding a lane, trying to pass it out. It's going to go out of bounds.
The passing game just isn't developed for them yet this game. They are looking for the shots. I'm sure in other games it's been working, but this McBain defense must be watching film. They must know something because they're shutting down all these passes that they're already planned out.
Now Isinga in the corner, falls into a trap, passes it out to Ridgeway. Ridgeway looking for a lane, loses the ball, picked up by Meringer. Now it'll be Peel. 4 minutes, 49 seconds left to go. Pass it over to Marshall. Marshall in the trap, tries to get to Peel, stolen by Adria Roosevelt. She's going to come down. It's going to be a foul. A little too much frustration there from the Bobcats. So it'll be Maloney to pass it out. She's going to give it to Isinga. Isinga going to stop. Give it to Maloney. Maloney, three. No good. Rebounded by Isabel. Pass it over to her sister. It's going to go out of bounds. Most defense we've seen so far tonight from the Bobcats.
And the Roosevelt sisters, they're a dynamic duo between the two of them. I mean, if one of them misses the shot, the other one's almost guaranteed to get the rebound, at least fight for it. It's too bad that they won't be playing more years together, but it's fun that they get to play together this year.
As Peel loses the ball out of bounds, so McBain going to get that ball right back. It'll be Ridgeway. It's going to get called. The ball's going to go to the Bobcats. Ball's going to go to Peel. Peel in trouble, going to get called for the foul. Or never mind, the foul's going to be against McBain. Marshall to pass it out. Looking to find a teammate. It's going to be knocked out of bounds.
As you see, McBain playing tough, close defense. I mean, they can't even get a pass in right here.
Ball has not left the bench. There it finally did. It'll go to Peel.
Good handles right there.
Tries to get it over to Meringer. Meringer does have it, takes the shot, no good. Gonna be in a foul. She'll get to come to the line. Looking to put her team on the board with, so we are halfway through this first quarter. First try for Meringer, no good. Couple substitutions now for McBain. It's going to be Briella Wallingis, Ayla Ferdine, and Michaela Blood. As the second free throw, also no good. So the Bobcats still not on the board as that one's going to go out of bounds. Now it'll be for Dean giving it to Ridgway. Over to Adria Roosevelt. Over to Blood. Blood for three. No good. Rebounded by Wallen. Just gives it to Roosevelt. Roosevelt over to Ridgway. Ridgway three. No good. Ball's going to be rebounded by Parks. Parks over to Peel. Peel against Verdeen so far, seeing that tough defense. Peel going to drive, take the shot, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Bailey trying to pass it out, stolen by Ridgway. Ridgway open court with a fast break, going to take the shot, no problem. It's going to be a timeout for the Bobcats in this first quarter. Of course, this first quarter is brought to you by L&J Meat Market Snacks. Fuel the Rambler Review crew as we will see you after this break. Back to it now, your score, 14-zip. It'll be Bobcats with the ball. It's going to be Abby Marshall to pass it out. She's going to give it to Tooker. Never mind, that's Parks. Parks over to Marshall. Marshall trying to get it to Parks. She's going to have to backtrack, stumbles. Ball's going to be picked up by Blood. Blood gives it to Wallenges. Wallenges in the paint, going to fire up the shot, knock it down.
Nice shot right there. Didn't even need the backboard. So, I mean, if there's a way to start a game, it's got to be this, 16-0.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. It'll be Marshall passing it back to Peel. Peel tries to get to Marshall way up, going to be stolen by Ridgway. Not much of a steal when it lands right in your hands. It'll go to Verdeen. Verdeen for three. No good.
Teammate pushes over another teammate right there.
Rebounded by Parks, tries to pass to Peel. Ball's going to go out of bounds. So it'll be Blood to pass it out now. Gives it to Wallenges. Wallenges in the paint. Shot no good. It's going to be rebounded by Adria Roosevelt. In the corner, passes it to Wallenges. Wallenges once again going to take the shot. No good. Rebounded by Blood. Blood's shot goes through.
Not only does McBain always have a good defense, but they also can dominate that board if it's defensive rebounds or offensive rebounds. And that makes a big difference in these games. And as you can see right here, I think they're probably out-rebounding them 2-1 so far. And through some other nights, we've seen it be about 10-1, 5-1, as Wallen just rips it out of her hands right there.
Yeah, and so far, this Houghton Lake team can't even get offensive rebounds because they haven't taken many shots, just losing the ball before they can even get to the basket.
I think it's been about 2 or 3 shot attempts so far. McBain has more steals than Houghton Lake has shot attempts.
More than likely. Substitution now for the Bobcats. It's going to be Jaden Peel coming in for Abby Marshall. As Blood going to pass it to Ridgway. Ridgway, shot up, no good. It's going to be rebounded by the Bobcats. Pass to Peel.
Yeah, Peel has some good handles. She's quick on her feet. You can tell she's definitely the leader of this team.
Passes it over to Tift. Tift in the corner against Verdeen. Passes it over to Bailey. Bailey way over to Muringer. Muringer over to Tift. Tift shot no good. Rebounded by Wallenges. Finally, one of those shot attempts that we've seen so few of from the Bobcats. That one no good. It's going to go 2 for Dean. For Dean for 3. He knocks it through.
No rim, absolutely all net. They've been trying. That's about their 4th or 5th 3-point shot attempt, and finally one falls. And I think once they start making one, it's just going to light up from here.
So a 21-point run to start the game. So the ball was put out of bounds by the Bobcats. Now an easy opportunity to tack on more to this already massive lead.
This could be crazy. We could see a running clock before halftime. I think it's 40 points. It's a running clock.
Ball's going to go to Ridgway. Ridgway going to drive in. Pass it over to Roosevelt. Roosevelt shoots it up. No good. Tipped up. Rebounded by Verdeen. Comes out with it. Takes the shot.
Ooh.
And the ball's on the floor with Parks. Jump ball is going to be called. It's going to go to the Bobcats.
It almost looks like a good game of bully ball because, I mean, bodies are just flopping all over him. McBain is just ripping it out of their hands, fighting for every ball they can. And that's one thing, McBain's very physical.
Peel showing the handles, takes up a block and then loses it out of bounds.
Yeah, Peel looking frustrated right there with that ball rolling out of bounds. You can tell she's very good at what she does, but it's very hard when you're playing a team like this. They're just so fundamental on defense.
It's going to be Blood. Blood for three. No good. Rebounded by Ridgway. Ridgway going to drive in, take the shot. Shot no good. There's going to be a foul.
Talk about packed stands. This is the one night where the student section is all the way back to the wall. It's almost every grade.
It's definitely fun to see, as it should, get louder here later into the night. So Ridgway going to come to the line now, looking to put her team up by 23. First free throw is good.
You know what they say, free throws help you win games. It's a big difference between winning and losing.
I don't think it's a very big difference when they're up 22-0, but yeah, for sure. Second try from Ridgway. This one goes through as well, so 23-0, 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ball's going to go to Parks. Parks, 20 seconds left to go. Mixes things up, passes it over to Peel. Peel going to drive in with a lane, takes up the shot, no good. Rebounded by the Bobcats. Ball's tipped up in the air after that shot, no good. And ball's on the ground.
There we see a little fight by Houghton Lake getting the rebound right there. 5.3 seconds left. Ridgway's basically just going to have to hail it up.
4 seconds. Ridgway driving in, takes the shot, no good.
Almost.
So the Ramblers hold the Bobcats scoreless through one as they are up 23-0. We'll see you in the second quarter.
For people who desire a custom-built home in northern Michigan, Arrow Homes is the premier builder that specializes in creating stunning, high-quality custom homes that reflect each homeowner's unique style and needs. Unlike other home builders that rely on cookie-cutter designs, Arrow Homes partners closely with clients through every step of the process, from initial design concept to final walkthrough, creating a truly customized living space. With over 50 years of home building expertise using only the finest materials and the most skilled craftsmen, Arrow Homes constructs exceptional custom houses that owners are proud to call home.
Kicking off the second quarter. After that first quarter, it looked like it was only McBain that was on the court.
Yeah.
23-0. We'll see if the Bobcats can show some fight and not give up in the first quarter.
Interested. I know they keep it in college records, but I don't know about high school. What the lowest we've ever held a team to in every sport. It'd be pretty interesting, because this has got to be going for a new record here.
So Blood gets the rebound after that missed three by Parks. Now Maloney over to Isabel in the paint. 2 defenders on her. Foul going to be called.
Yeah, very tough in the paint. She got fouled there and still made the shot. They're going to say it was a foul on the floor, though.
So Maloney to pass it out for this inbound play. Maloney gives it to, tries to get it to Blood. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and she'll go right back. So Maloney gives it to Izinga. Izinga for 3. No good. Rebounded by Blood. Blood's shot up and through.
It almost looked like a pass right there. Like it went right off the backboard in the Blood's hand. She just knew where to be at the right time. And that's going to lead the points every time.
For sure. Great anticipation. As Peel loses the ball, it's going to go out of bounds. Going to be out on the Ramblers. Peel now. Going to pass it out. Peel tries to get it over to Muringer, stolen by Roosevelt. Roosevelt, easy fast break, takes the layup and makes it through.
I thought she was going to dunk it there. Thought we were about to see a poster.
Definitely would have got this student section going.
Been insane. 27-0. Whopping lead.
Pass way over to Muringer. Muringer going to drive in, take the shot, and going to get called for a travel. And still, no scoring for the Bobcats tonight. It'll be Ferdine.
Little no-look pass right there.
Izinga, 3, no good. Ball's going to be rebounded. It's going to go over to Isabel. She's going to lose it out of bounds. Bobcats ball. Marshall going to take a block. Loses the ball, picked up by, never mind, it's going to be picked up by Maloney. Foul going to be called. Ball will stay in McBain's hands.
It's very interesting. I don't know if they're calling plays here like Houghton Lake is, but they almost look like they predetermine who they're going to pass to. They don't pass on the fly. And as soon as McBain takes away that passing lane, it's almost like panic ensues. They just don't know who to get it to. And that's why there's so many stolen balls and so many fast takes from McBain tonight.
Yeah, and we just haven't seen that leadership from the Bobcats. Like, they try to pass it out every time they drive in, not taking up those shots. We've hardly seen any shots from them tonight. So Peel going to drive in. And Peel falls in the trap, looking to pass it out. It's going to be stolen by Maloney. Maloney coming down the court now. Pass it over to Blood. Blood in the paint, trying to get it behind her. And then it's going to be a jump ball.
Either a jump ball or the ref is saying nice try with 2 thumbs up.
That's encouraging. So ball's going to go to McBain. Maloney to pass it out. Maloney tries to get it to Roosevelt. Roosevelt loses it just a little too far. So Marshall tries to get it to Peel, almost stolen by Ferdine. She fakes her out as Peel falls to the ground. Jump ball going to be called. Going to go to the Bobcats, still looking to score their first points of the night. It's going to be a timeout. During this timeout, I'd like to bring up the McBain Booster Club is inviting you to the first annual Euchre Tournament. Come on out to the Old Mill on February 22nd for a night of friendly competition fun and, of course, cash prizes for the top 3 teams. All proceeds will go to support our local track athletes, helping equip our boys and girls teams with brand new hurdles to boost their training and performance. It's more than just a game, it's a chance to make a difference while having a blast. So grab a partner, sharpen your euchre skills, and join us for an unforgettable evening. So that timeout's going to wrap up. Ball, I believe, will be in the Bobcats' possession.
I will say if there's one game where you want to blow a team out, it would be your homecoming game, because there is no JV playing. So there's a bunch of JV brought up. It looks like they have about 3 or 4 girls brought up. With a lead like this, I mean, throw them in, get them ready for next year. They will get to probably play about 2 quarters or a half.
Smeringer's 3, no good. Rebounded by Verdeen, given to Isinga. Isinga going to take a block from Blood. Step back 3, no good. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Roosevelt's shot, no good. That one's going to get popped out, picked up by Muringer.
I mean, she's getting bashed up by 2 people, and she's still tall enough, and her arms are long enough where she can just reach up and get that ball.
Now Muringer tries to get it out. It's going to be stolen by Verdeen. Verdeen, open court, just lays up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Maloney. Maloney saves the day.
Good to have someone that always has your back.
Marshall now in the trap, able to pass it out. Driving in, tries to pass it on the ground, gets it back, passes it to nobody. Stolen by Isinga. Isinga, Maloney in the open court. Maloney shot up and good.
Good vision right there from Isinga. Seeing all the way down the court, seeing Maloney wide open in the paint.
This Houghton Lake defense starting to fall asleep. Just no motivation at all, scoring 0 points so far. Ball's going to go to Marshall. Marshall tries to pass it out, knocked out of bounds. Bobcats going to keep it. Marshall to pass it out, gets it to Muringer. Muringer shot, no good, rebounded by Bailey. Bailey puts it through, and finally the Bobcats are on the board.
Ends the drought of the 31-point run.
Isinga's 3, no good. Picked up by the Bobcats, that is Marshall. Marshall pass it out to Muringer. Muringer 3, no good. Falls to the ground, picked up by Tift. Tift over to Marshall. Marshall. Now it'll be Parks. Parks tries to get it to Tift. Tift passes it back to Marshall. Marshall going to drive in, pass it out to Muringer. Muringer tries to pass it out. Foul going to be called. Going to be a push. Once again, now Marshall to pass it out. Marshall trying to get it to Muringer, ball on the ground. Picks it back up, gives it to Marshall. Marshall loads up a shot with one arm. Shot was no good. Ball's going to go to Ridgway. Ridgway over to Isinga. Isinga, open shot, takes it, makes it.
I could hear that splash from up here. I don't even think that ball looked at the rim. Straight net. Good shot right there. I think she practices that one a lot.
34-2 now. It'll be Marshall. Tries to get to Muringer. Back to Marshall. Marshall, trouble with it. Tries to get it to Muringer. Stolen by Adria Roosevelt. Here she comes down the court. She's going to stop, take the shot. Going to be no good. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Roosevelt's second shot. That one no good. Going to roll out of bounds. Going to be out on the Bobcats, or I believe it was a foul. Either way, Roosevelt tries to get to Wallen, just it's going to go out of bounds.
Shannon pulled a LeBron right there, screaming, "That's our ball, ain't it?"
It's going to be Roby to pass it out. Gives it over to Adria Roosevelt. Gonna pass it over to Ridgway. Ridgway gonna drive, take up the shot, no good. Foul gonna be called. It's gonna be against McBain.
It was a pretty good take right there by Ridgway. She kind of hit a little Euro step between the two defenders. Good take right there.
Marshall falls in the trap, loses the ball. It's gonna go out of bounds. Out on McBain. Now Marshall gonna take the screen, drive in, try to pass it out, finds a wall, and then finds a travel. So Ridgway with it now, gonna pass it over to Roby. Roby, corner three, no good, rebounded by Muringer. Now Marshall gives it over to Muringer. He's gonna give it over to Tiff. Tiff gonna drive in, take up the shot, no good, rebounded by Tiff. Rebounded her own shot. It's gonna be Marshall now. Marshall, three, no good. It's gonna be a foul. Foul's gonna be on the Bobcats, so it'll be Isinga to pass it out. Never mind, it's gonna be a Maloney as Maloney comes in for Isinga.
Yeah, McBain putting in almost a whole new group. 3 or 4 girls.
It'll be Ferdine passing over to Blood. Blood finds Adria Roosevelt. Adria Roosevelt driving, loses the ball, picked up by Muringer.
There's a little fight by Houghton Lake right there.
As Marshall falls into 2 defenders, gets it out somehow to Parks. Parks over to Muringer. Muringer over to Marshall. Marshall looking for a lane, drives in, tries to pass it, finds Maloney. As picked up by the Ramblers, it'll be Roosevelt over to Maloney. Maloney stops, takes the long 2. No good, ball's tipped up, rebounded by Ferdine. Ferdine, they left her wide open for the shot, no problem.
She just kind of rebounded it, took a gather step, looked around. There was nobody there on defense. I think she kind of got confused almost. She waited a little bit.
Now Marshall passes it out to Parks. Parks over to Muringer. Muringer, 3, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Bailey loses it, picked up by Muringer. Muringer in the corner, pass it out to Marshall. Marshall gonna pass it over to Tiff. Tiff over to Muringer. Looking for a lane, nobody there. Finds Parks. Parks shot, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Bailey, ball's punched out. Picked up by Isabel Roosevelt, gives it to Ferdine. Ferdine slows things down, gonna give it to Blood. Blood tries to get it to Roosevelt, she will. Roosevelt's shot, no good, but there will be a foul. So Isabel Roosevelt gonna get to come to the line.
Almost looked like Hack-a-Shack right there. She's like, I'm not stopping you on offense, so I'm just gonna smack you, make you go to the line. Very interesting because Houghton Lake, I mean, they got a couple rebounds down there, and then all of a sudden it was smacked out. It's almost like they have to get a rebound and fight for it, but they just don't. They do one or the other.
Second free throw from Roosevelt, no good. It's going to be passed to Blood from a Bobcat. Ball's tipped up. It's going to go out of bounds.
There we go, 35-point lead heading into half. The second quarter went a lot faster than the first. Let's see if McBain can dominate them going into the third. This is Homecoming. I'm Peyton.
L&J Meat Market. Our meat speaks for itself.
Chelsea Isaac also earned all academic all-state honors. The girls 4x400 relay team of Aubrey Vanderbilt, Brooklyn Hall, Charlie Vanderbilt, Madeline Riding. These ladies were the Highland Conference champions. Madeline Riding and Brooklyn Hall earned all academic all-state honors also. Michaela Blood qualified and participated in the high jump. Michaela earned all academic all-states honors. Allison Ledoux was the shot put Highland Conference champion and regional champion. Allie placed fourth at the all-state meet, earning all-state honors. Allie also earned all academic all-state honors. Isabel Roosevelt rebroke her own school discus record with a throw of 125 inches. That record was broken at the Highland Conference Championship meet. Isabel was the Highland Conference champion. She will continue her throwing career next year as she signed to be a thrower for Hillsdale College track and field team. The ladies 4x200 relay team of Michaela Blood, Aubrey Vanderbilt, Madeline Riney, and Peyton Grant broke the previous year's school record with a time of 147.73. This team of the Highland Conference champions. Adding to their honor, these young ladies placed fourth at the All-State meet, earning each of these ladies All-State honors. Peyton Grant broke Caitlin Brockovus' 2010 2,000-meter dash record with a time of 25.91 at the Cadillac All-Area News Meet. Peyton was the 200-meter dash Highland Conference champion and the Cadillac All-Area champion. Peyton also earned all academic all-state honors. And on the boys track state qualifiers, Cameron Dunaway was the discus Cadillac All-Area champion. Jacob Hart was the Highland Conference champion, Cadillac All-Area champion, and the regional champion in the 300 hurdles. Jacob placed 7th in the All-States meet, earning All-State honors. Eli Wilt was the 110-meter high hurdles Highland Conference champion. Also the Cadillac All-Area champion and the regional champion. Benjamin McGalley Lukrembo was the high jump Highland Conference champion. Was the Cadillac All-Area champion, tying the meet record with a personal record of the height of 7'7.5", and a regional champion. Ben placed 6th at the All-State meet, earning All-State honors. Caleb Miller broke Cody King's 2009 200-meter dash record with a time of 22.83 at the Cadillac Area News Meet. Caleb was the 100-meter dash Highland Conference champion and the Cadillac All-Area champion. Caleb qualified in both the 100 and 200-meter dash at the Division III All-State meet. Caleb will be a dual sport at Albion College next year for, say that again, football and track. Congratulations to them. We would like to thank all of you for your continued support of McBain athletes, students and their accomplishments both on and off the court, in the classroom, and all of their activities. Let's give these athletes a big hand. These honors that they have achieved represent a lot of individual work and dedication and discipline. Thank you.
McLain Transmission and Auto Sales. Transmission repair and vehicle sales in Northern Michigan. Locally owned and operated. Being a member of the community means that we take pride in the work that we do for our neighbors. You can expect honest and expert service from us. Every repair, every sale, every time. Servicing Cadillac, Lake City, Manton, Mesick, Big Rapids, Traverse City, and surrounding areas. Located on 2730 South LaChance Road, Lake City, Michigan. Call us at 231-779-1394 or check out our website at mclaintransmission.com.
On behalf of the staff, and most importantly the students, McBain Schools would like to thank you, our community, for supporting and investing in our future. Thank you.
Welcome back to downtown McBain for this second half of girls varsity basketball. It's going to be McBain ball. It'll be Shannon Maloney to pass it out. After that first half, I would definitely call it a dominant first half as McBain is up 37-2. So it'll be Ridgway with it now. Going to give it over to Maloney. It'll be Isinga. Isinga gives it to Adria in the paint. Adria's shot up and through. So Ramblers picking up where they left off, 39-2. It'll be Peel. Peel over to Marshall. Marshall for three, no good. Looked like it was tipped, rebounded by Parks. Parks over to Marshall. Marshall's second three, that one no good as well. Once again, rebounded by Parks. Parks is going to give it over to Muringer. Muringer over to Peel. Peel, long three, way downtown, no good. Rebounded by Isinga. Isinga gives it to Ridgway. Ridgway with some room to cross half court.
Going into halftime, what do you think Houghton Lakes coach discussed, Grant?
Hit 11 threes.
There you go. Plain and simple. You know, if we had to break it down, if you hit 11 threes, this is a close game.
Is Ridgway going to get called for the travel?
I think one thing they talked about, they almost looked like they didn't want it. Like they almost looked like they have no energy, no drive. It got to like a 10-0 lead, and they almost just kind of shut down. And that's definitely something you can't do. They didn't really go for the rebounds, and when they did and they got the rebound, it kind of just got taken out of their hands. Like, they're like, oh, here, you want this ball? They take it. They really just didn't fight back, nothing. I would say be more aggressive. You can be more aggressive and get more points on the board. Maybe you're not going to get a ton of points on the board, but you're definitely going to stop them from scoring.
And that's where players should really rely on their coaches at the half to give them some motivation, have some belief in their players that they can still win this ball game. As it'll be Ridgway with the ball passing out to Roosevelt. Roosevelt for the two. Bounces up and away, and then off the hands of a player whose name I don't have on my roster sheet. Never mind, that was
so much
Parks.
aura. Wow. It's a lot of aura.
Being unnamed.
Mm-hmm.
So Maloney going to pass it to Roosevelt. Roosevelt in the paint. Going to draw a foul after that shot, no good. So once again, it'll be Isabel Roosevelt coming to the line for two.
It's what, her third, fourth trip to the line so far?
I believe it is the third. Roosevelt with 7 points on the night. Looking to get 8 and 9. She will get 8.
And you know, it's not like one of the players on McBain is absolutely just dominating the points. It's they're all very close. It's just it's a good team effort out here. I mean, they're all 8-4, 6, 7-4. They're all right there for the starters.
Second free throw from Roosevelt is good. So ball is going to go to Marshall to cross half court. Now Peel finding a lane, passes it out over to Parks. Parks shot no good, rebounded by a Bobcat and a sea of Ramblers. That was Peel. Jump ball going to get called. It's going to go to the Bobcats. Peel going to pass it. Tries to get it to Parks. Through her hands over to Muringer. Muringer trying to get it to Parks. Stolen by Ridgway. Ridgway against Peel. Outruns her. Going to pass to Maloney. Maloney pretty open. Takes the shot. No problem.
Deep threat right there. You know, Maloney's physical in the paint. She's fast. She gets rebounds. She said, I'm a shooter too.
Just no defense on her on the perimeter. So she takes the easy opening. And now Peel going to drive in. Going to be stolen once again by Ridgway. So far, the Bobcats trying to pass it around, but finding nobody. As Ridgway passes it out to Maloney. Maloney, another three. Can she do it? Yes,
ooh,
she can.
She got the hot hand, and I don't know who's going to put it out.
That makes it 10 points on the night for Shannon Maloney.
A 45-point difference, which should result in a running clock.
Peel shot no good. Tipped up in the air, rebounded by Isinga. Isinga, Maloney open down court. Finally sees her. Maloney now takes up the shot.
Wow.
Talk about a hot hand tonight.
Yeah, I was just saying he's pretty evenly spread, and also Maloney now has 8 points in the last 30 seconds, I want to say. She has more points in the past minute and a half than Houghton Lake does this whole game.
Times 4. Peel now with it. Peel passes it out to Parks. Parks shot no good. Rebounded by Maloney.
She might go coast to coast right here.
Can she get the 10? She's going to try, and she will.
She can't miss. This is Maloney's court, and everybody's just playing on it. She's now 5 times Houghton Lake's points in the past 2 minutes.
4 substitutes set to come in for McBain. It's going to be Parks. Parks passing it out to Peel. Peel against Isinga, takes the contested 3. No good, rebounded by Roosevelt. Roosevelt gives to Ridgway. Ridgway over to Isinga. Isinga loses the ball, stolen by Peel. Whistle going to get blown. It's going to be a jump ball.
And there's a little bit of fight out of Houghton Lake. That's not what we saw in the first half. They kind of would have just let that basket be a basket right there.
So lots of substitutions coming in for both teams. And this might be it. This might be all we see of tonight's starters. It'll be Bridget Roby to pass it out. Roby.
It is running clock, by the way.
Gives it to Blood. Blood in the paint. Blood takes up the shot and makes it through.
A good part about this Rainbow team, though, is even after they take out their starters, they got some dominant players, too. Ayla's been dominant tonight. Michaela's definitely been dominant tonight with her rebounding and 3-point shots.
Marshall had a teammate open in the paint, didn't see her. It's going to be Parks. Parks loses the ball, gets it back. Parks against Ridgway. Gets it over to Tiff. Tiff going to drive, take up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Wallingus. Wallingus, ball's going to be torn out of her hands. Jump ball called. So the clock is not running at the moment. Marshall, is it going to be a timeout?
Will be a timeout. Timeout Houghton Lake.
So, as you said, timeout Houghton Lake.
I have a special message for you guys. This is your time to show your support for McBain student athletes this year. You can do it with a little football fun and Rambler spirit. Get in the action by purchasing your own Super Bowl squares today. Not only do you get a chance to win big during the big game, but all proceeds directly go to support our student athletes. For all the details on the Super Bowl squares and the Rambler gear store, head over to McBain Boosters Facebook page. So don't wait, grab your squares, shop some gear, and support our student athletes all year round. Don't forget to check out the Rambler gear store open all year round. Show off your McBain pride with some awesome gear and all that helps fund our athletes. For all details on Super Bowl squares and Rambler gear store, head over to McBain Boosters Facebook page. So don't wait, grab your squares, shop some gear, and support McBain all year round.
Back to it now. It's going to be Houghton Lake with the ball. It'll be Marshall. Marshall gives it over to, now it's going to be Tiff. Tiff passing it over to number 4. I do not have her name. Number 4 going to get it over to Parks. Parks over to Marshall. Marshall against Wallingus and for Dean. Going to try to pass it off. It's going to go off for Dean's leg out of bounds.
Now it's running clock. I don't know why they didn't do it then. Normally running clock is 40 points, so, I mean, 51 is more than 40 last time I checked.
Ball's going to go to Marshall. Marshall going to lose it out of bounds. Now Marshall once again gives it over to Parks. Parks back to Marshall. Marshall going to take a pick, pass it over to number 4. Number 4 gives it over to Tiff. Tiff for the long 2, no good. Rebounded by Ferdine. Ferdine now gives it over to Roby. Roby back to Ferdine. So now McBain just going to start draining that clock here. So we are only in the 3rd quarter with 2 minutes to go. It'll be Blood giving it over to Roby. Roby going to drive in. It's going to be a foul.
It's a good pass right there by Blood. Roby gave her a good open take.
So it'll be Marshall now. Marshall falls in the trap, gets it over to Bailey. Bailey over to Marshall. Marshall, corner three, no good. Ball's gonna be knocked out. Never mind, picked up by Ridgway. Ridgway gonna drive, try to pass it out without a look. Ball's gonna remain in bounds. Great effort by Wallenges. It's gonna be picked up by a Bobcat, or it's gonna be a jump ball.
Not sure.
Never mind, it's gonna be a foul against Verdeen.
One thing that does, though, is waste a lot of time with the running clock.
50 seconds to go in this third quarter. Only one score so far. And that was in the first half, coming in the second quarter for the Bobcats. It'll be Marshall. Marshall over to number four. Number four loses it out of bounds.
Interested to see if the fourth quarter, if Mr. O'Malley's going to put in your JV bump ups for the game.
It'll be Marshall driving in, taking up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Another shot up, no good. It's gonna go out of bounds. We talk about the lack of shots taken for the Bobcats, as that's gonna wrap up our third quarter, but also just not making them tonight.
I will say one thing we did see right there was the Bobcats probably got 3 or 4 rebounds. That is probably matching how much they have in this game altogether.
So we're set for 1 quarter left to play. 51 points separating these two teams.
Reedy's is a family restaurant on Main Street in McBain. Their menu has something for everyone, from kids' meals and pizza or burgers to their entrees such as grilled salmon, grilled tilapia, pasta dishes, and the best barbecue ribs or chicken around. Tuesday through Thursdays, Reedy's is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, they close at 9 p.m. And Sundays, they are not open at all. Food for your mood.
L&J Meat Market. Our meat speaks for itself.
Set to start this fourth quarter. It's the Ramblers leading big.
We did the math, and all Houghton Lake needs here is 18 threes to take the lead.
Definitely a possibility.
They have not had the lead at all. The closest this game has been is when McBain scored the first basket. It was 2-0 at that point. It was the closest the game has been.
So Marshall now falls into Roosevelt. Roosevelt going to pick it up. It's going to go out, picked up by Maloney. Maloney back in now in the fourth quarter, up by 51.
Maybe they were saying she was getting too hot. Her hand was starting to hurt, about to burn this place down. They're like, we got to cool you down real fast.
Now Ferdine going to pass it over to Malone. Never mind, it's going to be knocked out by Parks. Picked up back by the Ramblers. It'll be Maloney. Maloney over to Isinga. Isinga open in the corner. Trouble with her dribble. Going to have to pass it to Maloney. Maloney's shot, no good. Rebounded by Ferdine. Ferdine's shot, no good. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Roosevelt's shot, no good. Rebounded by Maloney. Maloney's shot, no good. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Roosevelt's shot, no good.
And it's crazy. Who cares if you make it or miss it when you're getting 6 rebounds in a row?
And then finally, the foul's going to be called, and Maloney going to come to the line. That shot by Maloney, the first one we've seen missed by her since the first half.
It was a solid 2 minutes where it was basically just her court. She went on like a 12-0 run.
First free throw is good by Maloney, brings her up to 15 points on the night. Second try for Maloney, this one good as well. So your score 55-2. Only One basket coming from the Bobcats in the second quarter. It'll be Marshall taking the long two. Airs it out, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Bailey gonna back it out. Pass it to Marshall.
Bailey is your only one for this Houghton Lake team with that basket.
Marshall trouble with it. Runs into Isinger, gonna get called for the backcourt. Your foot stepped just past that line. .548 to go. It's gonna go two for Dean. For Dean over to Isinger. Isinger over to Roosevelt. Roosevelt over to her sister. That is Adria. Adria gonna give it two for Dean. For Dean takes the three. No good. Rebounded by a Bobcat. That is Bailey. Jump ball gonna get called. Never mind, it's gonna be a foul. Wait.
No, jump ball.
No. Had me confused. Isabel Roosevelt was standing on the free throw line. I really thought. So Maloney gonna pass it, tries to find Adria. Adria Roosevelt gonna take the shot and make it through. Tough spin move there.
Nasty move right there. Good luck guarding that one.
As it will be Marshall. Once again, passing it over to Tift. Tift gonna drive. Tift over to Marshall. Marshall with an open look at a three. Won't find it. Rebounded by Tift. Tift over to Parks. Parks is gonna get called. And the ball is gonna go back to the Ramblers with 4.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Of course, this fourth quarter is brought to you by L&J Meat Market. Snacks fuel the Rambler Review crew. And now for Dean across half court with it. Hopefully slow this game down and put this one away. It's going to go to Maloney. Forget what I said. Maloney going to take the shot. No good. Rebounded by Maloney. Maloney's second try up and through.
No, even though the first shot didn't fall, that was a nice play right there and a nice look on that pass. They knew what they were doing. They had that play set up, and it worked to near perfection.
Pad the stats a little bit for Shannon Maloney. Ball's going to go to Marshall. Marshall gives it out to Tiff. Tiff for three. No good. As that shot by...
Blocked by Fredine. Looking like LeBron out there.
It'll be Tift now with it. Tift against two defenders. Gives it to Marshall. Marshall takes up the shot. No good. It's going to be rebounded by Isabel Roosevelt. If I were the Bobcats coach, I would not want to look at the shooting percentage tonight for his team. This ball's going to go to Isinger, wide open in the paint. Her shot no good. Rebounded by somebody. Ball's going to get popped out of bounds.
No, at this point with the running clock, the only time it really stops is for fouls, I think.
Substitutions coming in. Hopefully, supposedly, this will do it for the starters from McBain. Although Isinger and Ridgway are still in. Roby gonna give it to Blood. Over to Ridgway. Ridgway now. Ball's gonna go out of bounds as the clock continues to run. 2 minutes, 23 seconds left to go. It'll be Isinger to pass it out. Isinger gets it over to Ridgway. Ridgway tries to get it to Wallen, just stolen by number 4. Once again, do not have her name. Gonna get called for the foul, and ball's gonna go right back to McBain.
You know, just when they have something going. It's like you buy a new car, you're driving it home, you get a flat tire.
Now it'll be Roby. Roby gonna pass to Blood. Blood, long arms, takes the shot, no good. Rebounded by Bailey. Picked up by Tiff. Tiff passes it back to Parks, and Parks was in the backcourt.
Yeah, you can't do that, I'll tell you that.
And that pretty much encapsulates the struggles for the Bobcats tonight. So it'll be Ridgway over to Roby.
like 90% sure you pass around 5 or 6 times here. The game. Oh, never mind. You pass around 5 or 6 times right here, the game will be over. No, I would be pretty surprised if he said score.
But it is homecoming.
It is homecoming.
That one's going to be knocked out by number 4, out of bounds.
Crucial steal right there.
Going to make a difference here tonight. 57 points. Haven't seen something like this in a while.
This has got to be a school record to hold the team only to 2 points. I mean, unless we've held them to 1 or 0.
Probably happened like 60 years ago.
Yeah, like 1892 or something like that.
It'll be Roby passing it to Blood. Blood against 2 defenders trying to get it out.
She's going for a jump ball.
It's going to be held on to it a little too long. Lots of fight so far from the Bobcats defense these last 10 seconds. Not that it'll matter much. Maybe score in the second half. It'll be Marshall. Marshall against Wallenges. Gives it to Tift. Tift, 16 seconds left to go. Passes it over to Parks. Parks over to Marshall. Marshall for 3. No good. Rebounded by Blood. Over to Isinga. Isinga over to Ridgeway, and that should do it for us tonight. So your score, 59-2.
What a game right there. Lockdown defense by the Ramblers that allowed them to score 2. Probably a new school record. Hey, stay here for another 30 minutes or come back in 30 minutes for the main attraction. Homecoming boys. We'll be here.
Absolutely. We'll see you then.
On your side too. Good.